Welcome to Eco 501, sections 1 and 2, week 5. In this week, we will be covering the production and cost. We've divided today's video lectures into a few parts. In part 1, we'll look at the concepts of short run and long run in economics and what we actually mean by production. Part 2 of our lectures this week will look at what a production function actually is and what it tries to show. Part 3 will look at the production function in graphs based on the economic principle of diminishing returns. And in part 4, we'll introduce costs into the analysis and how costs are viewed in economics. Part 5 will look at the cost functions in graphs. Part 6 will make some concluding thoughts about the next week. Our text for this week and onwards is Managerial Economics, Application Strategy and Tactics by McGuigan, Moyer and Harris, 13th edition, 2014. We'll look at selected pages of chapter 7 and chapter 8. The learning outcome will be very simple. We'll try to find the basics of production and costs to understand markets, because markets is the main thrust of our course. And in order to do that, we needed to see two sides of the market: how households respond, and now how the firms will respond. And then based on all this, we'll try to find out how the basics are used in decision making. So we start part 1. What do we understand by production in economics? Over here, we've said that product and output, these two terms are going to be used synonymously. Although we are going to use the word production, actually we're going to refer it to output. So what is the production process? Or what is the output process? If we look at it from an output perspective, the answer becomes very simple, because output is nothing but it's a transformation of taking inputs, going through a production process, and bringing out outputs. So we take some inputs, and through some production process, we produce an output. Inputs, we're using the word plural, but for graphical analysis and to keep our analysis simple, inputs will be categorized into two parts. The first part is the human inputs in production process, which we will be defining as labor. The second input is the non-human components of the production process, which we will be defining as capital. So we're just doing this for simplicity. Some people might say we have 4 or 5 types of inputs, no problem. But just to keep the models simple, we use only 2 inputs. Now, capital determines the maximum capacity of a firm at a given time. So if we can increase the amount of capital, the capacity of the firm will increase. This notion, or this particular assumption in our model, brings us to the concept of short run and long run in economics. Short run and long run also brings us to the concepts of fixed and variable inputs. In page 237 in McGuigan et al., short run is just defined as a period when the capacity of a firm is fixed. Just now, we've defined the capacity of the firm to be determined by the amount of capital it has. Therefore, in the model, if the capacity of the firm is fixed in the short run, the amount of capital will also be fixed. So the foundation assumption, or the foundation assumption of this particular definition, short run, depends on fixed capital within this time period. Fixed capital means fixed capacity of the firm. So If we break this assumption of fixed capital, that means over time, capital can be incremented. That means the capacity of the firm over time will increase. Then it becomes the long run. So the long run is the period when capacity of the firm is not fixed. Capacity of the firm is linked to the amount of capital it has. Therefore, in the long run is the time period when capital can be variable, i.e. capacity can be variable. Fixed inputs and variable inputs. When we use this term, then basically what we are doing is we are talking about the short run. In the short run, capital is fixed. In the short run, then the only input that is variable is labor. So labor in the short run is variable. Capital in the short run is fixed. Now, when we use the word short run, the term can be extremely misleading. Excuse me. Does the short run mean a short time period? Can the short run not be a long time period? What determines the short run? The short run is misleading because it does not mean that the time frame is short in duration, but the time period when the capacity of the firm is fixed. This means that the short run varies in duration depending on the particular nature of the firm or particular industry that we are observing. Now, for example, mobile phones, they not the flagship brands, the other brands, they tend to change every 2 years. And each time a new mobile phone is launched, the capacity of the phone somehow is increased. You have a better camera, you have better memory, you have better you have maybe Spotify your facilities, Tidal facilities, etc., etc. So, and the flagship phones of all the leading companies, they change flagships every year once. Whenever these changes happen, the capacity of the mobile phone has changed. So in the mobile phone industry, we'll find that short run is valid for maybe 2 years in the non-flagship models, 1 year in the flagship models. In the software industry, capacity changes every 2 to 3 years. You'll find that Windows is making an update, a new window, they're launching a new Windows every 2 to 3 years. Whenever they launch a new Windows, the capacity of the new operating system improves. Fresh fish. Mhm. The stock of the fish can be maybe valid for only a few hours or one day. Until the new day comes, fishermen have caught new fish. We will not get fresh fish. Okay, so in the fresh fish industry, the short run may be valid for only one day. Now, a little while ago, we raised the question, is it possible for the short run to last forever? Yes, it is. For example, let's think that we're looking at a unique product like paintings, Mona Lisa. That's only one piece. One may argue that yes, Mona Lisa can be reproduced, but that's not the unique Mona Lisa itself. Only one piece has been produced, and this one piece amount of capital will never be increased. It will never change. In that case, the short run can last forever. Unique products like paintings or very rare stamps, which can't be reproduced now, short run can last forever. The short run analysis, this is just actually, we are just repeating what we said a little while ago, that short run analysis means fixed capacity. Fixed capacity means fixed capital. Labor is the human input. Output can then only be changed by changing the labor. By increasing the amount of labor, we increase output. By decreasing the amount of labor, we decrease output. What we are interested in is what is the optimum or the maximum labor that will achieve an optimum output given the fixed capacity in the short run. So our analysis is, what is the production function? in the next part. How do production functions help analyze production decisions? So we'll stop sharing now. See you in part 2. Thank you.